Conscious Whispers. So, going through the book again, we've been shedding beliefs. We've been moving through our timelines. We've been checking in on what our own visions, our own inner third eye is speaking to us, showing to us. Taking the roof off of our beliefs and choosing whether we want to live a life in peace or in pieces. Seeing the past in a whole new version. A version which actually helps you to grow rather than store your future. And the act of hiring yourself, whatever that means for you. The next page we come to is faith. Faith is as light as a feather. It weighs less to nothing. It's easy, it's breezy. When we lift ourselves out of the roof of our minds, we can enter a whole new world around faith. Faith is the F word which truly sets us free. So I'm excited with this page because this page is everything. This page is what this whole book, Conscious Whispers, is all about. It's about having faith that magic is happening all around you all of the time. Having faith that it's happening for you and not to you. Faith is light. It's never heavy. We make things heavy, but faith itself is light. And remember, there's no rules on how to colour. Don't overthink creation. Creation will happen through you anyway. And it will choose to happen through you the way it needs to. Faith. To have faith in your own heart. To have faith in something bigger than you. Whatever faith means to you. Whatever faith means to you. In this picture, we've got the roof being lifted off. So if you remember this picture before, where the roof is being lifted off of the mind, of your beliefs. So in order for that roof to lift off, and it's got feathers in this one too, it takes faith. Faith to believe that there's more out there for you. That this little box you've been living in, it is possible to break down the walls. It's possible to see yourself have a different future to the one that you keep telling yourself that you're destined to. You can create something new for yourself if you choose to. No one else can do this for you though. This is something you have to choose for you. Faith. It really is the F word that sets you free. having faith in something that's more than you, your heart. Your heart can't show up when it's hurt, when it's gone through trauma, when it's growing through healing. Your heart starts to shine when it gets brighter, when it gets lighter, when it's not carrying the past, the burdens of the past anymore, when it's not carrying the traumas from your ancestral lines, when it's not carrying any of this baggage. You really start allowing yourself to shine through. And it takes work to get there. Just like anything, everything takes effort, takes work. And you put effort and work into things that matter to you. Faith. What does faith mean for you? And where has faith helped you in your own life? Remember, this book of Conscious Whispers, it is about going back and listening to yourself, the divine within. This book is about helping you to regain, reclaim your own inner faith. How you choose to do that, that's up to you. But if I can inspire one person, I mean, that would just be amazing. Faith. Faith that all these images I saw, or the writing that came with it, is there for a greater purpose than anything I alone could have imagined. Faith. I actually have a spider here that seems to be listening in as I'm colouring for this picture of Faith. There was a time when I would have panicked seeing the spider, but you get to a point where if fear shows up, it starts to show you, actually, this is where my next area of growth is. And it's okay for me to be scared. It's okay for me to shake. It's okay for me to sweat as I'm growing through it. I mean, who says that you have to grow through something perfectly? It's like crying. Like, you don't have to beautiful cry if you're sad. Sometimes that ugly crying is important to help release whatever's in and stuck in your system. And yet it ends up becoming beautiful anyway, because you feel lighter at the end of it. Faith. Faith that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Faith. Faith that even though change is uncomfortable, it's going to show and grow me in different ways. Faith. Faith that no matter what colours you choose and how you colour, everything will happen perfectly. Faith. Faith feels light in your heart. It's a promise from you to universe, to the divine, to your heart. It's a promise that in having faith, I trust that everything is happening for me and not against me. And it's not easy to do. But is there a better way to live? Faith is free. Faith is freeing. Faith. When was the last time you had faith in you? When was the last time? When was the last time you had faith that your heart was only doing what was best for you? When was the last time you were shown a red flag and you stepped in and believed it and worked towards resolving that red flag? Faith. When was the last time you trusted yourself that much? When was the last time you trusted universe, God, that much? For me, when I talk about the heart, I see the heart as being God's residence inside of us, because it's keeping everything alive, including the heart. It's the receiver and the giver. Faith. It's easy to talk about faith when there's nothing extreme happening. Yet, when we talk about faith, when life is happening in that moment, in that time, stepping into it, trusting it, being in it, trusting the process, the flow, that this is actually all happening for me. It's not easy, but you'll thank yourself when you do that. Because what you realize is that your mind is telling you what it thinks and how it thinks that things should go. But the will of God is more beautiful than anything we could imagine. All of our thoughts stem from what we've already experienced. That's why we have to put the thinking mind down, because what's possible is beyond things we've already experienced. We can only think through our past. What's actually possible in the present moment or in the future is beyond our comprehension. And I forget these things all the time. All the time. Recently, I'd asked for a sign for something, and I was standing in my garden and I said to universe, I remember looking up at the sky first, I said, I want a sign that I'm on the right path. And this was just when my colouring books had been printed, and I said, I want a really obvious sign. And in front of me, as I looked straight ahead, there was something shaking in the air, and it was actually a little bit attached to the gate that was in the garden. And I started walking up closer to it, and I was like, no, it can't be, it can't be. And what it was it was a white feather just floating in that space between the gate. And in that moment, I remember saying thank you, because I'd asked for a sign and universe delivered. Faith. Faith isn't always just about feathers, seeing feathers. Faith is whatever it is for you in your heart. But I love moments like that. Love moments where the universe shows up before you do. It was like the feather was planted there, knowing that I was going to ask for a sign. And there it was, just hovering in that gate space. Sometimes when I used to go on walks as well, I used to ask for direction, and there'd be a feather right in front of me and it would be pointing in a particular way, and I'd say, you know what, I've never taken that route before, let's go. And I remember actually, as I'm talking about that, one of those roads was called Rose something, and it's interesting that that's come up, because that's come up already this morning, as me and my friend, who were doing a retreat together in the south of France, hosting it. And part of our retreat is based on Mary Magdalene. And if you don't know about Mary Magdalene in the south of France has a beautiful history attached to Jesus. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not his real name, and did he even exist? Listen, each to their own. Whatever you want to think, whatever you want to believe, that's up to you. I'm just sharing my voice on my channel. That's it. And so my friend this morning asked me if I wanted to go to Paris, because there's actually an opening to somewhere which doesn't actually open up to the public. And so we're thinking of going this month before the retreat. And I think it will align nicely with everything that we're doing coming up to October with our healing retreat. If you do want to sign up, you can send me a message on Instagram, and I can send you through any of the information about the retreat. There's limited spaces, so do get in sooner rather than later. And the reason I talked about Mary Magdalene when I talked about Rose is because one of the orders that help to protect and look after Mary Magdalene is named by the rose too, and you'll see a lot of it where they talk about the way of the rose. The Way of the Rose. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, why the Way of the Rose? And I started seeing the image of the rose, how you've got these thorns and it's so prickly, but then this beautiful, soft petaled flower emerges from this thorny existence. And it's like life. We go through a life of thorns, and some of us remain as thorns, and others will choose to flower and be soft despite the thorns. Despite what life has bitterly thrown at you, become softer, remain gentle. Not to be taken advantage of by anyone ever again, but for the sheer fact that majority of people are genuinely nice, and to turn to bitterness because of a few bad incidences, situations, where is that justice for you and your heart and who you are in this life? The way of the rose, to go from thorns to softness. That's a pretty cool feather, actually. Now, do I continue with the pink? I feel like going blue, and I might use the purple up here. What I will do is this. Been watching The Chosen recently as well, and was just watching the recent series of The Last Supper. And if you're watching it, oh my god, episode 8, mind blowing. Love that episode, love it. I won't spoil it if you're watching it and if you haven't seen it, but just the way that the character of Jesus is speaking to God, that was powerful. And it was the truth of, I don't want to go through this. The truth. Should I do blue up there and purple here? I'm looking at this. Purple. Good choice, Reena. If there's any series you like or anything you've watched around faith, share them in the comments. I love things that are based around faith, around growing, things that inspire the heart. Less about ego, more about love. And if you don't know, I just felt like the crayons were talking to me. And if you don't know, I'm using Prisma pencils. These are so beautiful. Prisma pencils. And they just go on this paper like silk. It's got feather there. Gosh, I remember drawing this. So my phone got too hot and it decided to switch off. So I'm going to have to keep an eye. Didn't really want to continue colouring with it being off. Okay, well that was a bit of fun. Bit of drama. Move my mug out the way. Okay, so we're back. Phone just got hot and I like it. I had to stay in faith and carry on, trusting, trust the process. My phone got all fired up for some reason, but it is hot today. And I just didn't want to carry on colouring without recording. Just did not feel right. Faith. Where does your faith sit? Where is your faith in yourself? Have you lifted, or are you willing to lift the roof off of your own beliefs to step in? I get asked sometimes if it's a kid's colouring book or an adult's. I mean, does it matter? Really? It's for people that are interested in colouring, for people that are interested in mindfulness. Do we have to have an age? It's for people that are interested in becoming present, being present in the moment. And I think kids are actually better at being present than we are. But they also don't carry the responsibilities that we have to carry as adults. Yet they get to teach us how to have fun. They remind us why we wanted to be adults. How willing are you to step in to your faith, to your growth. Can you find calmness in the wax on, the wax off of the feather strokes? And if you find it stressful, what if you choose just for a moment to breathe as you're doing it? A lot of the times when we get stressed, it's because we're holding our breath. So breathe. Unless you're a yogi who truly understands how to hold their breath, breathe. Not moving the page to colour. It's an interesting way of doing this. Should I use the same? Should I go a little bit lighter? I can go for this colour. Faith. I could have, when my phone went off, could have gone into a panic. Oh no, everything's ruined. Oh, poor me, blah, 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 blah. Instead, what I did, I went and got my iPad and had a look to see if I could angle that in a way to film the colouring. I weren't stressed at any point. And then in that time, my camera cooled down actually quite a lot. And so I set it back up because I couldn't get the angle on my iPad, not the angle I wanted. Staying calm. I feel like universe is always teaching me something and testing me to see where I lose my sanity and where I grow it. I mean, there's always trigger buttons for each of us. And breathe. Nice deep breaths through your nose. You get more oxygen into your lungs through your nose. There was a part of me tempted to do this, just go multicoloured, like a rainbow. But that didn't want to come through today. Reena, what happened to the strokes and breathing? They happen. Reena likes to have fun too. It's fun not having any rules. I'm just doing for fun, not harming anything, just being in joy. When was the last time you really had fun? When was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone? Yeah, let's do the feathers. Let's go for blue and blue. Yeah, the blue. You don't have to overthink for faith to get present. In fact, the less you think, the more faith can come through. Faith doesn't happen in a thinking mind. Faith happens when we surrender, and we know everything is happening for our highest purpose. Whether we understand that in the moment or not, doesn't matter. Just surrendering that the Creator that made us has a plan for all of us, for each of us, that was set in place way before whatever that means. And all we have to do is step in and get out of our own way. That's it. I was going to colour in there, but I'm tempted to colour in here. Did you grow up in faith, around a faith? Did you enjoy that environment, or do you resent it? Some people, they don't like it when I talk about God and faith. It's a triggering environment for them, and that's understandable because we all have different upbringings. And that's why I also talk about having faith in yourself and in your heart. Gives it a bit more freedom. Make faith light in your heart, not heavy. Past can be heavy, so we let it go in the faith of knowing that everything is always being taken care of. Go for dark. Having faith that what we're turning our energy to will show up in our lives. Be careful what you're wishing for, what you're asking for. And sometimes it's easier just to ask for that which is for my highest purpose. Faith. Faith is a key that sets your heart free. And one day you'll see you'll be free from this body you call me. Faith. How many of you actually want to be born again? I don't. So I'm choosing a way off this planet in a way where we get to leave it better, more beautiful. Preparing the soil for new. And when that new will happen, who knows? Who knows? One of the things that I do in my spare time is I help children for the charity Make-A-Wish go through their wish discoveries. So on a video call, I will speak to the children with the parents there, with the family there, and we'll come up with a wish discovery that they want to see come true. And it's such a cute, such a beautiful thing to do. I've never really been keen on charities. I've always seen them as these money-making schemes, but this one, you know, really connecting as a volunteer to families, to children, and really hearing of these wish stories happening for them, it's just magical. And this is it. Life is about getting involved where your heart calls you. When my heart calls me, just won't be where your heart calls you. Same with the colours. The colours that are calling to me won't be the same as the colours that call for you. Making a wish. There's another charity that I help support, and it was set up by the person who did my website and helped me print these books as well. And they support a orphanage out in Africa. And some of the first children to colour in some of the pages from my book were the children there. It was like I had their blessings before it could go out in the public. And these children were just so cute, so beautiful. My gosh. Innocence. You can't put a price on kindness. Kindness is heart-based. And kindness is an act that doesn't happen in the head, it happens in the heart. Somewhere out there, the children are going through their own faith in manifesting a better life for themselves. Faith. It's all happening for your growth, for your journey, your hero's journey. It's time to look at it in a way that frees you. I just heard a voice in my head say, Reena, if you're talking about faith, then why have you done a grey cloud? Like it's going to pour rain down. Because the earth needs water too. Soils need water too. There is no bad cloud. Everything is working with purpose, for purpose. That's beyond our thinking, our comprehension. So it's best not to waste your time thinking and instead spend your time doing. Faith. The F word which truly sets us free. I love that line. And this is the thing, you know, it's not that faith doesn't and it can't come with tears and resistance. Yeah, it can come with all of those flavors. Yeah, it's in that letting go that the freedom takes place. Letting go of how you need it to be, how your mind tells you it should be. Letting go of that. Good orange. So, as I'm colouring this, I realised that when I was messaging my friend the other day, I put it up on my Instagram stories as well, that what had happened was over the last 2 years, especially 2023, when I was really going through my divorce, I used to say to people that I was talking to, you know, I wish I could just duplicate myself, because the things that I'm able to channel out for other people, I wish that I had me for me who could do that for me. And I didn't know in wishing continuously for that thing that it would actually happen. Where creating these YouTube videos, I thought, you know, I'm just going to colour, see what happens. What actually, one of the things that's happened for me is my wish came true. I now get to be therapized. I've just made up a new word. Therapied through my own words. Because when I watch back on these YouTube videos, I end up receiving a lot for my own journey. Because when I'm speaking here and now, I'm really not thinking. I'm really don't have an agenda in mind. It's only when I listen back and I go, oh, that was actually really interesting. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Oh, yeah, I can apply that to my own life. So be careful what you wish for, and wish for things that will really help you grow, will really make a difference in your life. And it's made me smile thinking, wow, my wish came true of seeing myself duplicated and having her She's a now past version of me. Help me, coach me, guide me on my own journey. That's cool. There's a saying which goes, God may have delays in his house, but even though there's delays, God never brings darkness. And what that's teaching us, the saying, is patience. Have patience, for what you wish for is wishing for you too. I wonder what alchemy will happen when I watch this now and listen back to it. I wonder. It's quite exciting, actually. Keep putting faith in your own heart. Your heart is a really sacred space. Treat your temple, this body, with so much love, and it will love you back. Never call it ugly. Never call it anything that you wouldn't want it to hear ever again. Faith is light. Faith is light like a feather. If your faith is heavy and desperate, let it go. Faith is light, bright. It's almost like when it's lifting off, a storm is happening, but the lift off is light and pink. The inner storms that we brew. And what for? And there we have it. Faith. I've got the date again. 11th. Until next time.